I'm Rebecca Reineck, and I work at the Cadillac Housing Commission, and I often get phone calls on a regular basis from working citizens who are looking for housing. In Cadillac, there is no housing. I don't care if it's rental, what kind of rental, subsidized or not subsidized. I often refer them to Missaukee County. There's vouchers for Missaukee County, but they do not have transportation most of the time. Here are your workers that maybe Boyd Archery may need, or businesses downtown that could benefit from workers, and they won't live here because there's no transportation.
I'm Stacy Lawson. I'm the Director of Admissions from Automotive McBain. And speaking from a larger business in the area, there's several reasons why Missaukee County would need, not only for the elderly, for the family members that we deal with, the children that have their parents, relatives at our facility. The biggest problem that we see is from the hospital. They need to go to alternate care. If they have no transportation, they go home. They don't follow up with their physicians because they can't get there. They end up back in the hospital. And you have a population that really falls through the cracks and ends up suffering because we don't have transportation. We have family members that live maybe in Cadillac and want to come see their family in McBain, and they choose at the time they leave the hospital to stay in Cadillac because it's closer. So they take their family member from Lake City and they send them to Cadillac because they can't get transportation here.
If someone wants to go out to lunch, why would I have to pay for that? The school of choice, why would I have to pay for some kid that I'm already paying for busing for to go to another school? I'm all about transporting elderly, but why in the world do I have to take a kid to the Cherry Mall or to Cadillac to the mall?
Personally, I feel and have always felt that basically when it comes times for a millage, that I, as one of the 7 people that sit here, really do not have the right to tell people that I'm not going to give them the opportunity to vote as to whether they want to have something for themselves or not. So I would always offer the opportunity as a commissioner to put it on the ballot, because by putting it on the ballot truly gives everyone who wants to take the time to vote the right to be able to vote for it, or against it, or not, but it gives the people the right to have a say. It doesn't give the 7 of us a right to say whether you have the right to say. So I think, from my perspective, it needs to go on the ballot, but as to which one it is, I think the board probably needs to look at it, talk about it a little more closely, unless you know exactly where you want to be. But that's where I feel, as a commissioner, some people say you're supposed to listen and then tell people whether they can, and try to come up with the decisions. I agree with that somewhat, but not when it comes to the right of asking people to vote. To me, it's your decision. So that's where I would be coming from on this.
And I would agree with that, especially with the amount of input that we've had both through the survey and through this meeting. There's been a lot of support for it in this meeting, and I personally wouldn't want to deny the residents of the county the chance to make that decision. I think that's the only true referendum for it, is a county-wide vote.